All right, welcome into another episode of Nernshaw Radio. We have a very, very special guest. I can't wait to talk to him. I talk to him all the time, but I can't wait to talk to him again today. It's going to be so much fun. Remember, like and subscribe to Nernshaw Radio on YouTube, on Instagram, on X, on TikTok, everywhere you listen, everywhere on social media. We are there. But today, we got to keep it rolling. We've had some great guests so far. It's only been 2 weeks into the show, and we're ready. We're rocking. It's a lot of fun. We got to talk birds. Birds and Chiefs. I got the Battle on the Bay U shirt on. It's the only time you'll ever see me wear a Chiefs shirt. Anything Chiefs on me, only time you'll ever see me wear it. I've told this guest 100 times, I'll only wear it if the Eagles logo is next to it. It's usually for a Super Bowl. So, with that being said, without further ado, I want to welcome in our guest today, former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver and mainland product and alum, Mr. Dave Klemic. Dave, what's going on, man? What's up, Cleminem?
Oh, bro, I would be remiss if I didn't say that I was caffeinated, activated, and ready to roll. Let's do this. Let's get into it.
This is how busy of a guy Dave Klemic is. He's driving. He's got his 18th coffee of the day. Now, if you're not familiar with Dave, we do a show with Billy Schweim in the locker room on Saturday mornings, 10 to 12. We do it, I guess, gosh, it's been like 3 years, 3 years at this point?
3 years.
That's unbelievable.
3 years.
I mean,
yeah.
I can't believe it's been that long so far. But we're going to get into all of it today. We're going to talk to Dave. He's all over the place. We'll talk about Klemic performance method as well because it's a great time. I've also helped Dave out with his flag football league, Flag Football University as well over the past couple of years. That's been a lot of fun. So we'll get into all of it. But first, here's where I want to start, Cleminem. And if you're not familiar, I want to hear about this Cleminem story. So tell me about how we started calling you Cleminem and how that nickname originally originated.
Oh, man. All right. So great story. But even before I start, I would like to say thank you for having me on. It's an honor to be a guest on your show. I've been wanting to do this. I'm only mad that I was not the first guest that you had on. I'm like the third or fourth. So that being said,
first of all, I saved you for Chiefs Eagles. I saved you for Chiefs Eagles.
I appreciate that. Very well done. Well done. Touche. But Nick, it's a great story. So obviously, my name goes along with Klemic and is the lead in to the name Cleminem, which is the finish. The whole reason really was because on the way into the stadium. So I lived on the Kansas side my second and third year there. I lived in Overland Park on Metcalf. Anybody that knows where I'm talking about, it's like 20 minutes away. All the players lived in the same few developments right out there, or you live downtown on the plaza. My fourth year, I lived on the plaza, which is really, really nice. That's like when you're established, you go down to the plaza. It's a little more expensive. So I go out. I'm living and so a lot of the guys we live out together. So we carpool in, and on the way in, one of the traditions that you do is you turn on the music and you just start rapping. Now, Cleminem did not start off as Cleminem. Cleminem started off as scared to say a word. I can't do it. And they forced me to do it. And I'm like, no. And they had so much fun busting my chops because I couldn't rhyme a word together with another. You know what I mean? And then over the course of 1 or 2 seasons of us doing that and then listening to instrumentals, I started to pick it up. You can't not pick it up, and it's fun, and it gets more funny. So I started doing it in my car. I did it in my car a little bit, you know, and then so I could practice, and then it just started like flowing, and I would even message on people's answer machines, and you know what I mean, and like rapping all the time. And then there was a talent show. The talent show they always do, and I was in my second or third year at the time, is 03. No, the 04, and I hosted the talent show, and I came in and I rapped in the beginning to an instrumental. So one of the guys, Darnell Alford, ended up giving me the nickname Cleminem, and it was pretty genius. And then I've been being called that ever since, especially by you.
Yes.
But that's kind of where it started. But you know, it's neat when you make this type of. I actually use that a lot pre-show or pre-game, I'll start
Yeah.
loosening up the metaphors and verbs by just listening to an instrumental and start to rap to it. And then, it's easy to speak. It's way easier to speak when you don't have to rhyme everything. But when you have to rhyme, you have to think of things like 2-3 steps ahead. So it helps you, you know what I mean, with your words. So
Now,
there's some utilitarianism to it.
Now, Dave, you love football. You're still involved with football to this day. But I want to revert back to when you were younger. You just loved sports since growing up, but you didn't start out in football. You started with soccer. Tell me about how you got into sports, specifically football, but also how you started out with soccer.
Yeah, so it was a soccer, like there was a soccer team in Summers Point called, just like a rec league, and I ended up I could run. I could run like a deer. So that was I was naturally was gravitated towards a position in the sport that you could just run at full speed, and you'd probably be successful. Well, football was absolutely not the first thing that let me explain football at a young age too, so I can explain why I like soccer. I was scared to get hit. You know what I mean? I was skinny, and you ask anybody, I was just scared to get hit. So I was like, oh, I like soccer. I don't get hit as much. You know what I mean? Then, so then you just gravitated towards something you were good at because you could run. And I love soccer. It was my favorite sport. Then I was really good at track though. So I started to gravitate towards track. And I was national champion in the long jump when I was a kid in the Junior Olympics. And that was, now I started to go, oh, so I'm good at track. And my brother was U.S. national champion in the high jump. Just a phenomenal athlete. And we were then we get to be really a well-known track family in New Jersey. And I was state track athlete of the year in high school. I was honorable mention in football for all conference. So I wasn't like, there was not much football for me to talk about. Although I did lead the state in touchdown receptions, I probably led the state in drops too. So like I wasn't like, not much to talk about. But as the years progressed in college, they throw the ball a little more. I started scoring a lot of touchdowns in college. I got a full scholarship to Northeast University, which is in Atlantic 10. The all-time leading scorer at my college, and then by the way, my brother-in-law beat my record later, but
That's great.
Miro. But I did up to 2001. I was the all-time leading scorer till 2005 when Miro graduated. So, well, it was one of those things where you're like, I was a natural scorer. I liked being in the end zone, probably because I don't like to get hit. I don't like to get tackled. Again, just why I played soccer, because I didn't want to get hit, and it just helped. And avoiding contact is what I was all about. So
I love it.
blessed to have played soccer to start. I think it's a great sport to help all kids. When you're getting out of the gate and you're starting to play any sport, you want to run a lot. And I teach at Klemic Performance Lift, and I'm in here right now. My students are running around. They're kicking butt right now and coaching a lot of girls, which is really neat right now. It's one of the first times we've ever seen like a majority in girls in this place in the 25 years I've been doing this. So yeah, awesome. I think I tried to cover it all right there.
You did. You absolutely did.
So we can get right into the juicy stuff, like making fun of Ryan Clark.
Oh man, I know. Listen, that was a rough thing to watch, and I hope they got over it. They fist bumped during ESPN's coverage of Monday Night Football, so hopefully they mended fences and he learned from his mistake there, because that was absolutely rough. But I do want to get back. I do want to get back to this. You also went to Northeastern, and you were inducted into the Club Hall of Fame in 2009. You were the class of 2001. You were a great, as you mentioned, track runner as well as football. Talk to me about your time at Northeastern and any fun memories from that time in college.
Well, I definitely didn't run cross country, but it probably says cross country.
It's with track, yeah.
Yeah, I've never run cross. I can't run any distance whatsoever. You could catch me. My daughter could catch me in with her little roller skates on if you ran long distance. My wife can beat me in running long distance, but I uh, I definitely Northeastern was I didn't even know where it was. I never knew when they told me I got and they offered me a full scholarship. I said, "Where's Northeastern?" I thought it was Northwestern, like in Chicago. You know what I mean? I'm like, I had no idea. I was like, oh, then maybe it's like a sister school with like. It was not. They played in the Atlantic 10, who was at the time UMass, UConn, Delaware, James Madison, Richmond. It was a powerhouse. Villanova. So it was a powerhouse of 1AA football. As a matter of fact, every time we play up to like Pitt, Rutgers, we always win. We always beat those guys. Like they're not even James Madison beat Virginia Tech. Like it was, we were a good conference. You get a lot of transfers and guys that were supposed to play running back when they got to West Virginia, but then they move into defensive back. Well, they want to play running back, so they transfer to James Madison. That's the type of school I played at. Well, I didn't have that option. I had to go right into 1AA football, and that was probably the best thing I could do at 160 pounds, still having braces on. There was not a lot of scholarship offers, but I did get Boston University and Maine as well. But Northeastern let me not parlay it, but I was able to run track too,
Right.
because I was a better track athlete than I was a football player. But I just had to be able to score enough points in order for me to run. Like they said, where would I rank if I ran track? And I look like by my high school times, I could score enough points to be, so our team would win a conference championship. So I basically my athletic director let me get out, not of practices or lifts or anything. He just said, you can go to this conference championship. You have to run a qualifying time. I qualified, and then I won the 55 meters, the 200 meters, and the long jump. And all were conference records. So like after that, I got to run whenever I wanted because I could score enough points. So and I hold the school record on the 4x1 also, but
So cool.
and the school record on the long jump as well. So I was inducted in both sports, but
Yep.
Northeastern was one of the best things that could have ever happened to me because I'm a pretty sheltered place here in South Jersey, super sheltered. It's like you live in like Disney World down here, and you go to Boston, and it's very, very diverse, and it's very. I mean, it's just. I guess that's the best word you can use. So I had to like learn how to not be in my own little bubble, which is a very conservative, very religious bubble. You know what I mean? And not that I changed my values. I try to change everybody else's values. I try to make people, but I had to deal with them. I had to kind of like, I had to like learn how to be around everybody that wasn't exactly like me. And a lot of that was I spent my time in my Bible studies and stuff like that. And those people we try to change people to be better people, not to just recruit them to be Christians or something like that. But I actually tried to like genuinely from the inside tried to change people for the better. So it was kind of like one of those things where like it was an experience that I'll never forget. And I really hung out with mostly my track team because my football team,
Right.
they were hard to deal with. They were like harder to deal with because they're so alpha mentality too. You can't move them. They're not gonna come off their ground, and neither was I. So my track guys were more receptive to like my clean cut lifestyle, and they had to be because their track athletes they're very particular about anything that goes in their body, anything. They always have
Right.
to stay light. They can't drink and stuff like that. So I fit right in there. So I hung out with my track guys mostly. At the NFL level, though, I'm sorry I didn't share anything funny. I have a million funny things. But what can't you tell about college that's funny? Everything about college is funny. Everything.
Well, I know you got one story about Fenway Park that is hilarious. I know you have one about them because you told it on the radio before.
The one where I threw the tennis balls over
Yes.
I threw the tennis balls over the wall.
Yes.
Yeah. So we used to take and we go down Fenway Park. You could see it from my 15-story apartment in Kerr Hall. No, not Kerr Hall. It was Spear Hall. Not Spear. what was it called? Whatever it was called. But we were on the 15th floor. We could see down in the outfield, and there was the green monster on
Yep.
the one side. And if you are watching the game, once in a while you'll see someone throw something over the wall, and then the police chase you out there. Well, I could run a little bit. So I said, you guys watch this game, watch the outfield right now. And I went down and grabbed the tennis ball from downstairs. The tennis court was right
Oh
underneath us. There's
my
always like a
God.
bunch of tennis balls down. So I put like 2 in my pocket, and I ran down. It took me like 5 minutes to get down there. Everybody's watching it, and I launched the tennis ball over the wall, made it in, and I was with another kid on my track team named Joe Foley. I shouldn't even repeat that because he's the AD at Merrimack College right now. Me and him threw this tennis ball over. We see the cops come running after us, and we just jetted, and they did not catch us. We got back to our dorm room, and on TV they said, "We saw it. We saw the tennis ball come over the wall."
Oh
It was
my
great.
God.
So we got one over, so that was pretty cool. I think I told that story to what you call it? Who was on
Johnny
the radio with
Damon.
us?
Johnny Damon.
Damon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a great one.
very cool.
That's fantastic. Talk to me about your draft experience. It was a unique one, right? And then also tell me about your time in NFL Europe as well.
Yeah. So my experience with I was probably, if you looked at my draft scout profile, I was anywhere between like a 3rd and a 5th round pick. But because I scored a lot of touchdowns, I led the country in touchdown receptions, and I was at the time 2nd all time in touchdown receptions behind Jerry Rice. So at the time, and then it's been beat a couple times since then. But I at the time, so I scored a lot of touchdowns, and I had an extensive track background. It's perfect. It fit a profile of the St. Louis Rams, who was saying, "I'm going to take you in the 3rd round," which was going to be true, except for I tore my hamstring at the NFL, right before the NFL Combine, running my first pro track meet at the New Balance Invitational, tore my hamstring.
Oof.
And then I had to sit out of the Combine. And if you sit out of the Combine from a small school, you already have 2 strikes against you. So now they're like, that's terrible. It was a grade 2 hamstring tear. So I wasn't going to be able to go to OTAs. I was going to be in rehab the whole time. I didn't run full speed again until, after I didn't get drafted. I went to free agency, but I had a huge, I could have gone to almost all 32 teams in free agency, but the draft, like I was getting calls from Pittsburgh, St. Louis on day one. Because I was very productive and high, they want the character type of guy. It wasn't going to be a problem off the field. Those things are helpful. They ended up drafting a quarterback from Nebraska and moving him to receiver. That was where I was getting drafted, in St. Louis. So everybody said, "Well, take you in free agency." Coach Vermeil calls in and says, "I'm going to guarantee you a practice squad spot if you don't make our roster." So my agent says, Coach Vermeil's word is like as strong as oak. So we're going there. And it's a good situation for you. They like fast guys. It's the same offense as Greatest Show on Turf. They don't have big receivers. They need fast guys that are on time, they're reliable. It's perfect for you. So I said, okay, we're going to Kansas City. Go to Kansas City. I'm rehabbing all of OTAs. I didn't get to practice. OTAs just means organized team activities.
Yep.
And then we go to training camp. Now I'm just getting healthy, and they picked the 2 guys who ran the fastest 40s, which was me and Dante, and we had to go race each other. This is a big betting thing. Now the winner of that will go to NFL's fastest man competition, because every team does
Hall.
this.
You're referring to Dante Hall, who's with the Chiefs at that time as well.
Yeah. So the 2 of us go at it, and the place is going nuts because both of us did a couple little starts, and the place was just getting crazy. All the fans are allowed out on the field at this time. They had cameras everywhere, news stations and everything, and all this has to be documented because you're going to go to the winner goes to Honolulu and run in the NFL's fastest man, which is called pro football's fastest man at the time. It wasn't sanctioned by the NFL until 2008.
Right.
So they we end up warming up, and the place is going nuts. I got a video of it. So you can look up the video on YouTube right now if
Yep.
you want to. Just look up my name and spell it with a K, and you'll get to it. So we ran, and man, my hamstring was still tender, so I was like afraid to really push it. So I didn't like push the start as hard as I could. And I never saw a guy. My whole thing was my start, and I saw Dante in front of me. The first time I've ever seen in a race somebody in front of me at the start. So I had to reel him back in because he's kind of short. He has a phenomenal start, but I had to reel him back in and like win it by 100th of a second, which I think I was significantly faster than him, but I didn't. My start was bad because I was afraid to push my hamstring. So and anyway, so I won it. We put money up. I got a bunch of money. I bought my first car with it. And then I got introduced.
Game check?
It was a game check when because at our game checks were his game check was bigger than mine. So
that's great.
Especially because on the practice squad, and he made the 53 man right away. So we were that's how I bought my first car. So then we were talking about. So they introduced us to the city at the convention center, Kansas City Convention Center, and they announced the fastest man competition winner and representative to the NFL, the pro football's fastest man competition. So they introduced me to the city, and they say that, and I had to walk right past Dante. He was so mad because he wasn't a superstar yet. He wasn't who he was. He became that year, and he was doing it in preseason, and he went on and he just started lighting the world on fire. And it was like he made the Pro Bowl that year. I'll never forget when he got inducted when they named him to the Pro Bowl. He got up out of his seat, ran down the aisle, ran down the hallway. I started chasing him down. I was so happy for him. You know what I mean? Like everybody knew he was going to make it, but he just couldn't believe it until he heard it. And now he asked me to be at his Hall of Fame induction 2 years ago for the Chiefs Hall of Fame, and he's in the Ring of Fame. And one of the most electrifying, not just people, but like not just like players, but people and a golfer and just like a electric personality. I can't say it any other way. Everything he does is so energetic and electric.
Yeah.
You just gotta you have to meet him to believe it. And it was just an honor to be his locker buddy because he was number 20 and I was number 17 at first. And then he moved to number 82, and we kept our lockers right next to each other. Like he didn't want to move, so we were buddies. So
that's such a great story. Talk to me about Arrowhead a little bit. Arrowhead's crazy. I mean, it's nuts. Eagles Chiefs this week. Tell me what it's like to play in Arrowhead, and then as an opposing team, I mean that's got to be nuts too going into that place.
Well, you'll see there's very little technology. There's very It's just a very small jumbotron at the end. The stadium is owned by the Hunt family. So it's one of the rare stadiums that's not owned by the city. It's owned by the Hunt family. So they believe that their theory on it is like the game should be the most important thing, not all the other stuff. So they have this small jumbotron for a replay or whatever, but there's nothing crazy about it. It's cool. They have some lights and stuff like that, but like it's just you're watching the game. It's kind of old school, and the fans are there. About 70,000 fans. Seats about 69. There'll be now they have more. They open up some space now, but it's about 70,000, and they're there for warm-ups, and they stay to the end of the game. No one leaves early. No one boos you. They love on you so much that I always feel bad that we didn't win for them. You know what I mean? I'm so happy for the fans that they've been starting to win because they're so loyal and everything. I love our Eagles fans too because they're crazy and it's fun. But there's something that they love you. They love you, and there's not much else going on out there besides football and baseball. The Royals and the Chiefs are right next to each other.
Yep.
Not much else going on. So they live for this stuff. So the fact that we're doing that, all this attention has been brought to them. Since they've been winning, they've actually expanded the downtown. There's a second downtown called the Power and Light District, and that was never there. There was not Buckhead. There was Westport. There was the plaza, and now there's the coolest part of it is there's a place downtown called the Power and Light District, and it's amazing. It's like Xfinity for us,
Yep.
but expand that to like a couple blocks. It's amazing.
Yep.
It's amazing. So
All right.
they really
Yeah,
it's like a destination now.
It's a cool spot to play. The Eagles do win there. They won there last time they were there. I'm just saying. I'm just going to put it out there. The Eagles did win. But before you get out of here, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about your relationship with Coach Vermeil. Coached the Chiefs, coached the Philadelphia Eagles, brought the Eagles to their first Super Bowl. Tell me about what your relationship with Coach Vermeil means to you.
Yeah, so he means the world to me. Especially I'm one of the people in the world that that we have like maybe some of these people, a lot of these guys don't have great relationships with their dads. It just was a thing that like he knew how to be a dad to you, or just to be that father figure to you for a lot of us that didn't have. And I was one of them. Came from a family of 6 and my dad wasn't around. He knew how to step in and just be the example that you needed to be disciplinary, but also believe in you, pat you on the back, set your standards high, standards you don't drop below your standard, and then give you goals that you have never hit before, and then trying to make you believe in yourself. I saw him do it for Dante Hall. I saw him do it for Tony Gonzalez. I saw him do it for a lot of people, that he made them believe in themselves by giving you opportunities. And if you screwed it up, he didn't like pull you from the game. This is like something a high school coach would do. And he would be like, yep, you fumbled, you're back in the game. We're going to give you the ball back. Yep, you got to fall off the horse and get back on. And that's how he developed guys. He wasn't like, he didn't care. That's another thing. He didn't care if he got fired. He was going to develop you as a person. And if he gets fired, he could care less. He doesn't care. He's like on borrowed time. It was like crazy. He made everybody better men, which is like something you don't expect. He's trying to advance his career. He wasn't trying to advance his career. He was trying to advance his players.
We want to thank Dave Klemic for joining us today. Thanks so much to Dave and giving us a little bit of his time. He's a busy guy. He runs Klemic Performance Method. He's had guys like Austin Johnson, Bo Melton train with him and go to the NFL. So make sure you check out KPM Klemic Performance Method. Thanks so much. Former Kansas City Chief Dave Klemic joining us today to talk a little bit about his career. Former Kansas City Chief. Hey, Birds play the Chiefs this week. No better person to get on. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow all the socials. Nern Shaw Radio. Talk to you soon.